Who has the worst
candy display out
ranking in recruiting right now?
Chips and everything.
It's gotta be. Them or
Even after they pulled in slusher.
It get good.
Huh? We won't spend any time immediately.
Well, Tom said
That's just a mile long.
how cool is going to have success?
No, we're going to
Anywhere you go to,
Like legit. How are you gonna have success in convincing people? Yeah, come here, I may be other jobs. Any minute.
do what we did
I
5
saw
years
it
ago.
at
Get a day at the hotel and drink in the room. He's in the hotel. Then you
I can
slumber
zoom
up
in.
to your room.
What's the problem? Is it low?
Ooh, look at that slusher.
No, we just said.
Are we going old school back there, Rob?
SC is 7 grade.
Right behind Bowling Green, right?
Yep.
Oh, look at you.
Where'd you get that at? SC is a whopping 4 classes ahead of regional
You
powerhouse.
gotta-
You can, but I.
Not that I don't enjoy what you look and silly, but you guys can
Just
call it
fuels my
wrong.
theory even
So
more.
I'm not gonna.
Front left.
And mine's just
Front
on the
left.
school.
Front
He's
left.
not worried about what's
Camera issues.
Front left.
Look at that
They
sweater.
said we can't go in.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're ready
If they'll let us
for this
on the
year.
Remember the fight?
Yeah, right.
Bro?
So, yeah.
No.
I guarantee
It's okay if you don't talk about it. He told me to tell you.
What's up, Hayden?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm there on his eve.
Yes.
Decrease your process.
All right, some housekeeping issues before we start. Coach has a interview following this, so he has 25, maybe 30 minutes. In an effort for everyone to get their questions in, we ask that you not ask him to address every guy. If you want to ask a question about a player, that's fine, but please don't ask him to go through them player by player. It just takes too long. People don't get an opportunity to answer.
That'd be the whole 25.
Exactly. Exactly. So.
Where am I going to read up?
AJ.
So I guess the net.
Yes.
Tyson, if anybody is interested, Tyson will do readings for you for your website.
That's outstanding.
TJ Batts, offensive line, 6'5", 334 pounds.
Do Australian. Do Australian.
I mean,
And then like their live stuff.
That would be best to go. That would be the second sticking out over the top. These two just.
He won't fix it. I tried to tell him 4 times.
Pull over on there. That's just how it
Well,
goes.
pull up there.
That's why I do it when I
God.
I don't like have a chance to
The moment
email much during
anybody
the
starts
day.
worrying about me as some sort of fashion rule maker,
I'm always worried.
you need to reassess.
Hello, Ryan.
Thanks, funny.
How are you?
Good.
But he also could go nowhere. What time was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Darren, what time did you print that? At 1:30?
I didn't bring a half renewed.
Oh, Pat did? 1:30ish?
Oh,
where?
That's
Oh,
That's a good
you put D? On front page? We do that on purpose. Just to see if you would catch it. Did we do it inside on the
Yes, I've had many.
Oh, it's game on now.
not on Twitter,
It is
but
game on.
I'm not throwing stones.
My
I'm
whole
just-
goal now, I can say it, is to get Matt to start capitalizing high school when he refers to a team's high school.
Here you go. It's right.
Is it right inside?
Yeah.
so we got it right.
We did. Pat messed it up.
Any names you screwed
Throw
up?
him under the bus.
Cold-blooded.
No, Darren and I both proofed it. So who's that on? You got a copy of it.
You know what? You win or lose to the team.
Yeah, the copy editor.
That's exactly.
I've only ever done this.
All the copy editors are gone.
Joey?
40 times. That's all these mistakes nowadays.
All because of losing.
You know what we needed?
Captain's got to go down with the ship.
We needed Jesse.
Yeah, but that's for the other team.
We should have run it back.
Like a hawk.
Yep.
I signed up for it. Yeah, I signed up for it too.
I don't know how she feels about the 3-dot format.
Let's usually make his name.
I'm gonna
Go there and then
No idea.
Housekeeping?
Annoying. Do we have anybody from the East Coast? Center.
It's pronounced
Rocky.
Husky? Yeah, he's a bit a husky.
Go nation.
At 266 pounds.
I know.
Joey, how we doing?
How's basketball going?
You know, if you really want it, you should be here, right?
Huh?
If you really want it, they should be here.
Is that out of nowhere? The plug in.
Should lights out. Not like you ever expect 10
So the stream's gonna work today.
Insane.
Good.
No, it's just been a while.
Oh.
And the patch that we use to make this work, they have to change it when we have basketball games at the arena. So it's like that's like the one when they no one's audio person because they patched it back, it just didn't work right. So yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Do we tell them?
Yeah, if not, it's not going to get changed.
If you kept things on the G drive.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's still all in April.
TJ needs.
And then that's also when NCAA is
Where did we find the TJs? Where do we?
It was in the.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Interview.
Volleyball.
No, it'll be the new person.
Oh, okay.
Though that could change it.
God forbid we put
Go
one
to-
toward a van, like a SAT truck that works. We gotta go buy another around 4. It's the stupidest thing in the world. We got a SAT truck that literally has not. It's from probably 2002, and it's just like bunk, old, breaking. Things breaking apart. It might. It might predate it, honestly. Like I might be shooting way off in terms of age. But the general point being, we're like in really bad need of a new SAT truck to the point where like we can't take it out anymore for live shots, and we're out spending money on new cars that we don't need. You know? Well, it's killing us. It's like we got the high school games that we do live broadcasts on. It's like, we're shooting multiple TVs.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Coach.
How's it going, guys? All right. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, thank you for being here. Obviously, it's been a busy few days. I think the last time we saw each other was in Santa Clara. Obviously, really proud of the football team. You know, won the Pac-12 championship, but and ever since then, it's been a whirlwind. Right on the road. That very night, actually, we started our home visits and went on whatever it was, 8, 9, 10 days straight. And within those days were stops in New York City, where Justin won the Campbell Trophy. Huge moment for him, for the program, for his family, and proceeded the recruiting process. I think up in Atlanta and watching Panay win the Outland Trophy, and along the way. But with that great event, also along on our way there is all of our players that were recognized for being all conference players, and a couple other guys noted as being All-Americans as well. Just been a really strong, busy week, and then culminating in today with another great day of bowl practice, but also just happens to be National Signing Day, which has become, it's always been a great day around here, but again, continues to elevate a standard, and certainly today was a day that we're all really excited about, that is actually probably not over. You know, it is continuous. And we're excited about that as well, but super excited, fired up about the newest members of the Oregon Duck family. And, you know, we feel that we just got not only did get our needs filled, but also were able to elevate the level and the caliber of talent, culture, human being, competitor to our roster. Guys that are really, again, I think you guys know these guys pretty well, and certainly excited to talk about them. But that being said, open to questions.
Right here, James first.
Mario, at what point did you know you were getting Justin Flo? And
how do you both feel about him and him combined with Noah? This is on paper by recruiting ranking the best in 14 years, the first time that a school has signed the top 2 inside linebackers in the country. What is your just feeling on him and the two of them together?
How do I feel about? Well, I want to make sure that all the guys, Noah Sewell, Justin Flo, Jackson LeDuc. You're looking at 3 elite guys. I've never been around a caliber of linebacking class like that. When did I know? When did I find out? I was on the field. We were practicing. And we were paying attention. We were concentrating and focusing on practice. I just had a guy at a distance with a little phone on them, to make sure, get a thumbs up or just get nowhere near me, if it didn't work out. But incredible group of men, young men. They are intense competitors. They are great teammates. They are great leaders. They're all physical. They're explosive, instinctive. I mean, these guys change you. They're knockback tacklers. They take on big bodies and knock them back and get hands-on. They're able to shed blockers, and their block destruction capabilities are phenomenal. I mean, these guys are game changers. And again, as excited as can be that they're with us.
Right next one, Tyson.
You kind of led with this, but just going to like all the award stuff where you're kind of seeing, a guy like Justin off kind of, and then, the next day you could be in a recruit's living room, trying to get him to come here. Like, can you contrast just like what the emotions are like between you have some players who have done some stuff versus like, kind of getting the new wave in?
Well, it's just nonstop. I guess emotionally, you're just on a constant high because of the way the program is continuing. The trajectory of the program is just really just going. And the level of excitement, the level of commitment, the strength of the culture, everything is just gaining momentum, getting stronger. And I think it's evident in the way we're practicing right now. It's a testament to the players, their desire to continue to get better and elevate the program. And then you're out there and you're searching for guys that you feel you've identified as guys that can come on in and not only fit in great, but make an impact right away. Guys that our current players are going to take under their wings and teach them how we do things, welcome them to the culture, introduce them to everybody, just be their big brother. So, no, the level of excitement, there's a reason there is no snooze button hitting when you got to be here for a 4:01 a.m. letter of intent being faxed in from the East Coast. That's because the level of legitimate just appreciation and excitement are through the roof right now. And today was incredible. And like I said, it's not done.
Right here, AJ on the right.
Coach, a big component of recruiting is how well you fill your needs in any given year. Mm-hmm. How did this class so far, in this early signing period, address the needs that you identified heading into this 2020 cycle?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Before I say that, I need to do this. I need to really thank our assistant coaches, their wives, for being understanding like they are, because they haven't been home. We got back and jumped right into preparation for our opponent. But their relentless work, their relationship building abilities, the amount of time invested has led to this class, But so I went off on a tangent there. Give me the question one more time. I'm sorry.
We were asking about, how did you address the needs this class you had identified going into the cycle?
Well, we graduated a fair amount of defensive linemen, a super stud linebacker, right? A quarterback that's done really well, offensive lineman, and I don't think you ever fill a need that very year with that very class. You always try to, at least we do, we try to do it 2 years out, being that you're probably going to have guys, for the most part, take a year to develop while they're making an impact and then really be on their way to being their best in their second year. But we felt the big bodies on both sides, the line of scrimmage, the trenches, were addressed with length, with size, explosiveness, athletic ability, recoverability as well. All these guys could bend. They're explosive. They could come out their hips, knock people back. They're relentless competitors. They have high motors. They play with good balance and body control. They're heavy-handed guys, but they're light on their feet. And that combination is critical if you want to really dominate the trenches. And we felt we did that, with the guys that we signed on both sides of the ball. And at every position on the interior, I should say, on the offense and defensive lines, and on the edges as well. And I think when you look at the linebacking core that we had just spoken about, that's what you're getting as well. You're getting some really high caliber guys that could come on in and make an impact right away. Felt that, at quarterback, we ended up signing one of the best players in the country, in Jay Butterfield. At running back, a guy that runs 10.5 at 212 pounds and 6'1", just very different. I mean, it's very powerful and capable guy, a guy that can make a guy miss and take it to the house and really change the game in a hurry. A guy like Chris Hudson, who took over the state championship game and really has taken over the entire year. I promised myself I wouldn't go over each and every guy, that I would wait for questions and to be asked. But, we have certain numbers and criteria. We are just about there at each position and hope to finish that off here. And at the same time, maybe or hopefully have a scholarship left over for the offseason, when also some other things tend to happen and become available that could also enhance your roster. So it's the process doesn't stop. But the 2020 class is a championship class, and once again, the best class in the pack. And that's a tradition that we want to continue and we're committed to.
Left second row, Andrew.
Coach, I know a lot of the attention has been paid to what you guys have been doing in-house here in signing day, but how much did Marcus leaving for the UNLV job kind of change the trajectory in the last week or so? And on top of that, I know he said that he plans to come back and coach the Rose Bowl. I was just wondering if he was going to be doing that in the same capacity, play calling and all that he's been doing all year.
Yeah, Marcus will be the offense coordinator for the game, and in the same capacity that he's been working. It was important, number one, to make sure that the players, the program, are the most important thing to keep in mind when making that kind of a decision. And in coming to that decision, it was a matter of realizing that we're very systematic. We do things a certain way. We work together, and we've gotten here together as a family, as a program, as a team, players and coaches, by doing things a certain way. And everyone's earned it. Everyone's had a piece of that, a major role in doing so. And in meeting with Marcus, we had talked about the type of regimen and schedule that must be kept up in order for this thing to be successful, because that's always the first question when I ask, how can a guy balance two things? Well, there's not a single second that we typically commit to a weekly process that is being compromised. He's pulling some real long hours to make it work, with his new appointment, which I'm super, and we're all incredibly happy for him. Okay, he's done a really good job. He is a tremendous human being that has been really loyal to the program and to our players. Our offense ends up being second or third in just about every category in the Pac-12 conference, and I believe top 15, top 14 in the country. So a lot of credit to him. Appreciate all the work he's done. We'll wish him the best after this game in his new job. But yes, he will be coaching that game. In terms of how it affects recruiting, I think anytime you have a departure, there is some type of an effect. I also believe that the way we recruit, we're so well-rounded, we holistically approach the process that all of our coaches have relationships with our targets and their families. And so it wasn't much, it wasn't much. And that's not taking away anything from Marcus. That's just a testament to the way that we do things here at Oregon.
Right here on the right, Warren.
Coach, you and your staff received a huge amount of national attention because of the way that you've recruited, not just last year, but this year. I'm just wondering what that secret sauce is and has been for the Oregon brand. When you go out and you talk to these parents and these recruits, what is your approach, the way you do it, and what's been so successful?
It's the staff, and quite frankly, who our best ambassadors are? They're our football players, our student athletes. Because I remember being on an official visit way back in the day. I know you guys think I'm like 80 years old and I played back in the days of leather helmets, but I actually went on a couple of official visits when I was a prospect. And I remember my go-to, for information were the actual players on that team. And they would tell you exactly what's up. And the best part about when guys come to campus with their families is to have them around our current players. And if they happen to meet the families and whatnot associated with our players, it's we know what they're going to get. They're going to get the reality of what we do and how we do it, what goes on behind the scenes, what goes on beyond just the game day and the bright lights and the moments on TV or whatnot. So the secret sauce is being real, right? We have a tremendous passion for the University of Oregon. We all feel, without a shred of a doubt, this is the best place in the entire country, and that we're honored and privileged to be here. And we just, when we lock into a target, we want them to come see it and experience it, and the rest takes care of itself. The commitment from our administration, their investment in the student athlete is just second to none, and that's important to families. You see that, right? Some people could talk about it, and some people could sell a great product out there, but can you actually show it? Our administration does that for our student athletes, and the way that our entire program and our people are around each other is a point. So I guess there is no secret sauce. I wish I had a much better and like cool answer that, a nice little nugget in quotations, but we're about as common and as normal as it gets. We love it. We love Oregon. We love being here. We love everything about it, and it shows in the way we conduct our business.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about the momentum that's being built with the program and how that shows up in recruiting. How have you seen that in your interactions with the recruits and their families from when you started here and were selling more about rebuilding the program to now the recruits can see the way the program is headed?
Yes, sir. Well, Oregon's been great for a long, long time, and we felt it was our responsibility to bring back what we know, the level to which we know that the Oregon football should be at. And now that, we're deep into November and the beginning of December, and Oregon once again is in, a conference championship game and playing on New Year's Day, and in the conversation as it relates to the college football playoffs. So it's validation, right, of all those visits, all those sit-downs, all those conversations regarding, hey, this is the direction, this is what we're building to get to, and all of a sudden now we're getting there, and we're humbly acknowledging that we are getting there, but we're nowhere near the standard that we want to set for the program. And staying hungry and humble and driven is something that just it oozes out of our coaches. Our coaching staff, these guys are the best. I'm talking about. There's nobody who would trade for these guys, and because of all that, I don't look at it as a sell. I just look at it as what it is. It's the truth. There's no, it's gonna happen one day. This, down the line, it's happening now. It's happening now with a very young football team, a very committed football staff, an unbelievable administration. So it's happening. It's real.
On the right, Ryan?
Mario, I remember how excited you were when Panay was added to your 18 class at the last minute. What's it been like as an offensive line coach to see him, win the Outland Trophy, be a unanimous All-American, and then now have his brother here to join him?
Oh, it's that family now. That's you're not going to meet or be around another one like that. They are a special family, special to myself, to the entire staff. Their upbringing, their culture, their way of being. You see that physical, just maniacal football side, but you never get to see what Panay and his brother and that family, what they are as human beings, how caring they are. It was great. And speaking with Noah today, his concern was not about a particular piece of equipment or whatnot, or really anything football related. It was him taking the time to put together a Christmas card for, an underprivileged child that he thought he could bring a smile to her face, which is like, wow, well, how many guys in the country would be thinking about that on National Signing Day? So, no, an extremely special family, talented like you may never see, it happens every decade, 2 decades, sometimes a century. That's what they are. They they live their lives and they play the game the way that you should, the way that it should be, the highest level possible. So incredibly blessed to have them here with us.
Left, Matt.
You said, excuse me, you said things aren't done. I guess how many spots do you have left? And I guess what are those things that you need to fill after this class is inked so far today?
The trick questions begin. Here we go. How many spots? We have a few. We have a handful of spots. And we also want to make sure that we use them wisely. You don't want to. There's a lot of good players out there, and a lot of really, really good players want to come to Oregon. You got to make sure that your needs are met, and then best player available. I liken it to the old, not because I'm a Steeler fan, but I liken it to the old 70s Steelers, right? Where all of a sudden you're loading up on Jack Lambert, Lynn Swann, Mike Webster, all those cats, right? And we still feel that we're almost at number at every position. There may be, there's thoughts of wide receiver, defensive back, a versatile, a jumbo tight end type of guy. Any great player, any elite player is always in play. But there's room, there's space, there's time. And also Devin Williams is also a member of this class. So, I mean, if he was actually a true freshman, you would see what that does to the class in terms of its caliber and ranking or whatnot. So, overall, just we're just about where we need to be from and especially the way it's staggered from a year standpoint, the amount of sophomores, juniors, and whatnot. So, but we feel pretty good that this thing is still ongoing for a couple more spots.
On the right, Jerry.
Yeah, Coach, if you could comment on one player, is it Lalulu? Since I have been here covering the Ducks, since there have been leather helmets, I think he's the biggest Duck I've ever seen. Brandon Bear may have been a little taller, but 6'7", 390. Is he gonna have to lose a lot of weight, or is he coming in pretty well ready to go?
I think they undershot his size. I just remember he's the first human being that has made Joe Salavea look small. It looked like Joe was his mini-me. You know what I mean? He's a humongous human being. We had the opportunity to coach him at a camp in Hawaii. Incredibly athletic and agile. I think he will need to condition, or we need to get him in the type of physical condition and shape to be able to sustain, high level of play for extended plays. But make no mistake about it, this is an extremely talented individual that has all the tools, and with that size, it just you're looking at a special prospect and a tremendous human being and family. I mean, they are. Coach Mirabal was out there for the home visit the other day, and I got a FaceTime from Hawaii. I'm sure he was struggling with that, right? And the feast that they had out for him was epic. I mean, I saw crab that looked like Frisbee out there, laying out and whatnot. So they're really happy to join this family. We can't wait to have them here.
James, go left.
So follow on the OC search at this point, Mario, given that between now and the end of the dead period, there's not a huge difference. A lot of change is going to happen everywhere. There's a lot of openings in this league. Mm-hmm. What are you looking for is a play caller, either at this level or the NFL level, a prerequisite? Mm-hmm. If you're an NFL quarterbacks coach, say, but not a play caller, is that sufficient? Proven recruiter? Does Texas ties matter? Because that's where Marcus was beyond California. What are some of the criteria you're looking for?
Well, I don't think a tie to a particular part of the country becomes a major part of the criteria here. A guy that really understands offensive football from A to Z, really has to have some type of experience as a play caller, for sure. And I know there's different ways to mix and match this stuff. Sometimes you have a great quarterback coach that has called plays before. That's a pass game coordinator match up with a run game coordinator. Sometimes you have a guy that has coached it all, has coached the guys up front, the running backs, the quarterback, has coordinated the run game and the pass game, and he's just got a great feel for it and can do it all. You want a guy that understands everybody's assignment, what to do, how they do it, why they do it that way, because at the end of the day, he does have to install. He does have to get in front of everybody and do everything and make corrections and adjustments if they're not done exactly right. Precision is important. So NFL guys, college guys at every level are in play. The amount of interest that has been garnered by this has been incredible. I mean, we have a really impressive list. It's something that I'm sorting through. Phone interviewing, we'll be doing face-to-face interviewing, both here and away, to find the right guy. It could happen as soon as if we found the right guy today, that would be the case. But if it doesn't, we're willing to take the time to do it right. I think we've shown a really good track record for hiring the right kind of people because we do take our time in a very thorough process, a very grueling process, but it's worth it because at the end of the day, he is the guy that's surrounding our players, right? He's the one that's responsible for making sure that we're on the right page, we're on the same page and doing the right things offensively. And again, the principles of what we're doing as a team involve physicality, explosiveness, and everything else. So those things have to be in line. But there has to be a very clear understanding of what we do and how we do things from a cultural standpoint, and combine it with the right guy that can be a great offensive coordinator.
I'm all right, AJ.
Coach, one of the reasons your team has won so many games this year is the team chemistry is at a very high level. What did you do with this recruiting class to kind of screen, make sure the guys are going to fit in when they hit this locker room?
Amen. That's one of the best questions and one of the highest priorities of the program. It really is. So we have some really, really good guys. No one is perfect. I get it, but I look at the way these guys are around each other and how they care for each other. It's incredible. Today's practice, at the end, we had the developmental scrimmage. So the older guys are on the field coaching the younger guys. This thing got pretty intense now. The offensive guys and defensive older guys are at each other's throats. They're coaching each other. We put the ball down at the 25 at the end, said live ball, hey, winner take all. And man, the offense scored, and those defensive guys were upset. Now it was quite a moment. So it oozes out of them. And to keep that going, you can't bring in, I would say, is you have to make sure that priorities, that mindset matches up with what we have here. We're a demanding organization now. It's not easy to be an Oregon Duck, but if you want to be great, right, you really don't have a ton of different choices and things you can do on the side or whatnot. You have to be a committed student athlete. You have to love the sport, but you have to love being in a competitive atmosphere. You have to love the opportunity to compete at a high level, embrace the adversity that comes with it. The opportunity always comes with some challenges, and you got to have guys that won't flinch and that are willing to learn, that want to be lifelong learner type of guys. So I guess I should say extensive, like extremely thorough, like FBI type background search stuff goes in. And I'm like the little things, like go to the high school practice as well as going to the game. Don't just watch him when the lights are on. Go watch him during practice when he doesn't exactly make the right call on a play. Does he blame his teammates? Is he a hands up guy? And, or is he, it's on me rounding everybody up and creating the right type of juice and to get guys going? Is he a good leader? Go around the school, go check his attendance records. Is he a guy that's habitually late, or is he an early guy to work and a guy that stays late, does extra stuff? So it goes on and on. I got a good sheet for that. I got to give you that sheet, so I won't take up any more time this press conference, but it's all good stuff.
Nice in the middle.
How has the last 2 weeks where you guys are running around, flying around while preparing for a pretty major football game as well, how has that prepared you for in the future if you guys do end up in the playoff where it's going to be even more of an accelerated schedule? Just how do you feel like your planning and execution went into this period, and what can you kind of take out of that move?
For the conference game, the title game, you're saying?
No, going into like the Rose Bowl, like you guys have the Rose Bowl.
Okay, because that game actually wipes out a week of recruiting. So you can't. It's a short week, right? You got to play, and that's the most important thing. We needed a week off. Like our players, their bodies needed a week off from just wearing helmets and just going out there and playing some physical ball. So they lifted and ran this week while they took care of finals. And they had a total of 7 days off. And then on Sunday, when we were back and it went quiet again right before the dead period, we went back to lifting and running on Sunday, spider pads for an hour on Monday, and then these last 2 practices have been full throttle. And then tomorrow we'll turn the engine off in terms of the physical part and dive full bore into Wisconsin. We have implemented bits and pieces of our game plan with them, but we have focused for 4 days on technique and fundamentals and effort and culture, running on and off the field, bending at the knees, hands inside, striking low to high, block destruction, all that stuff that's required, right? Because what do you usually see in bowl games? You see poor ball security, you see a lot of penalties, you see a lot of poor technique angles or whatnot. So, and I think it fits the calendar perfectly. I don't think we compromise anything. Now we go on to Wisconsin prep. They get a break and go home for Christmas for a couple days. They fly in on Christmas Day, fly in, Merry Christmas, everybody get in your lines, we're going to work, and it's on, which they are doing too. So it's a tremendous opportunity. So no one has any complaints about it.
So much is built up about getting to today from a recruiting standpoint. Now that you have this group, what's like the timeline, or what's the interactions that your staff has with these guys, and what are you doing until they show up on campus?
It doesn't stop. We've built real relationships with our people, so it's not just, oh, got your letter, see ya. And it doesn't work that way here. And I think that's why our team continues to grow more and more together. I mean, everything we do, we want to make sure that they feel the same way during the recruitment process as they do when they sign, as they do 2 years down the line after having been here for a couple of years. So a lot of guys are showing up early. I wish I had the number in front of me. I think it's 12 or 13 between January and March. We have 2 waves that are early enrollees. Then the rest will show up in June. We'll be on the road again in January. So the guys that aren't here will be able to still, visit them again. So the interaction doesn't stop, and they'll receive their workout booklet for the off season, as well as they'll have access to our system so they can learn the playbook from a video standpoint, and the paper copies as well. So it'll be nonstop.
Rob on the left.
Since we're dealing with some topics beyond signing day here, I wondered, there's been some chatter about you guys being an 8-win team in conference play, it seems like you're getting more recognition in some national awards, Coach of the Year, All-Americans, things like that, than you did with the all-conference team. Has that been as much of an issue for you as it has been the chatter externally?
In terms of?
Just the recognition for your team.
Well, you know what? We have really good football players, and they deserve the recognition that they get. I don't think I'm biased. They deserve more. And I think the ultimate recognition is that big silver trophy downstairs, right? That signifies everybody's efforts and all that other stuff, And that's the most important part, the players. The players, all the other stuff in terms of recognizing coach, that doesn't keep me up. I don't waste much time on that stuff. But for them, I was glad to see him recognized, in the second voting by the media, because that certainly it helps them. It helps validate a lot of the things that were earned on the field, and it showed in going 8-1 in the conference schedule, and then going out and winning the Pac-12 championship game in the fashion that we won the game as well, against an excellent football team that we respect so much. So all in all, super happy for our guys, and I'm even more impressed with the fact that they're so focused on this game. They know we're playing a great opponent in a setting that's as good as it gets in college football. I've never been in a Rose Bowl, never. So this thing is it's awesome. I hope I answered that, kind of.
Time for 2 more. We're gonna go Ryan and then James.
Do you anticipate Butterfield enrolling early, and what's that competition going to look like with 3 young guys that your staff has recruited? And do you see the OC being the quarterback's coach as well, and how important will it be, obviously, for that person to mesh with those 3?
That's a lot of questions there, partner. Jay Butterfield we feel we have a couple really good quarterbacks here now, and we feel that Jay is an excellent quarterback as well, and he is enrolling early. He is working night and day on those classes to get it done. Every time we talk to him, he seems like he's another 10% finished with a particular course. So it'll be open competition, like it should be, like it should. And we're excited about it because our guys watch our quarterbacks every single day, and they know how good they can be. And we also know how good Jay can be as well. And being here early is always a tremendous advantage. So spring is going to be incredibly competitive, and that's what's going to make our team better.
Our left, James.
Just a couple of personnel yes/nos as far as availability, Mario, and also one specific players-wise. Micah, the timeline was possible. Is he able to go? Randazzo tweeted he was back at practice. Waters, Wilhoit. Salah, given that he hasn't played 4 games, and Stephen Jones.
I'm trying to write down everything you're doing, man. You had Wilhoit. Who else was the other one?
Los Angeles, so I figured we'd get it out of the way.
Okay. Randazzo tweeted, so I guess he already had his own press conference. So.
Hey, we want from me. Waters, Wilhoit, Salah hasn't played 4, Jones has, and I said Micah. Was Micah able to go because of the timeline there, and separately from all of the yes/nos there.
Would you like fries with that too? Anything else?
Those are just yes/nos.
Okay.
Brady and Bryson have in the second half of the season in particular, been enormously impactful. They happen to have roomed together.
Yes.
Has there been a duo that you've been able to see where they went from basically being cogs that didn't fit last year to not just fitting, but excelling?
Yeah.
How have they been able to do what they've been able to do here the second half?
Yeah, I'd love to answer that one first. It's a testament to them, their hard work, and it's also credit, Coach Avalos and Coach Hayward, and Coach Salavea, because those guys, like you said, they weren't involved last year. We're so different schematically, and it's enhanced our defense so much and our team so much. We're guys like this that, once they got their opportunity, they were given a fair opportunity. They took it and they ran with it, and they've made our team so much better. And which it's just they bring enthusiasm as well, and they validate that competition is real in our program. You compete and you earn it, you're going to play, and they certainly have. So super proud of them. Your personnel questions, Randazzo is practicing, and he is practicing full go. So it was great to see him out there today. We think he's going to be a heck of a player. Salah, Stephen Jones has played for. So again, it's something that that's always a decision, depending on exactly where we are. We talked about Salah before. It holds the same with him. Will Hoyt is healthy and practicing. Waters is healthy and practicing. Micah Pittman has been practicing. And we will perform another couple of tests at the end of this week and see where he's at and what the doctor says. But it'll be completely dependent on medical clearance or non-clearance. But he looked really good out there. And he, him. I mean, if he's given a 1% chance to try, he's going to chase it as hard as he can, and he's really working hard to get back out.
That's it. Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Good.
Can we ask you about it? I don't know that Coach knows anything about it.
I would have to go back and check with everybody. I did say the class was going to keep growing, right? It just happened to grow as we're exiting the premises. No, but it goes without saying this class is awesome, guys. I think you'll enjoy these guys for years to come. I love your 12-pronged questions, man. It's like I need a notepad to be able to answer. Why don't you, from now on, say, as you go on and you ask questions, why don't you say, James,